What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Derrick Frost Road to Glory. We're starting here off week number 5. Today, since we have a bye week in week 6, we're going to get through week 5, 6, and 7 today. Let's dive right into practice. It's a good start. Great start. Still got 10 reps to improve that coach's trust, but after I said this was going great, got sacked and threw 2 interceptions in a row, so that kind of knocked us right back down to 0. We'll just keep trying to move up. Alright, we're down here. Last 3 reps. Let's try to finish off strong. Eventually I'll learn the names of the teammates, but I felt like it wasn't something I necessarily need to do right now since I won't be playing with them other than in practice, so we'll see. Finish it off. And great way to finish. So we finish here with 5,010 XP, giving us a total of 9,895. Let's go see how we can spend it. Back here on the menu, let's scroll on over to skill upgrades and see if there's anything we find interesting. We got read and react, which gives us awareness and reaction time. I don't really ever use reaction time, so I don't ever see a purpose to upgrade that. And Heisman time, it'd be a nice boost, especially the carrying, but I just would rather save my points for quarterback ratings. Well, let's dive into our Week 5 matchup against the Colorado Buffalo. Let's get into the coin toss. The Buffaloes will be calling it today. They call tails. It is tails. So that means our offense will be stepping on the field first. Let's see how it goes. This looks to be another win for Oregon State if we keep it up. Our defense is holding strong. Still is. They can't score more than we're putting up. And there you have it. Late game score, but Oregon State pulls out the win. More zeros on the card for Derrick. We win 24-17. Let's take a look and see how our teammates did. Luke Baker, another good game. 15 for 26. Only 184 yards, but also 3 touchdowns. Take a look at running. Brad Wiggins, 95 yards on 26 attempts. No touchdowns in the running game today. We got receiving. We got David Humphrey pulling in 2 touchdowns on 73 yards and 6 catches. And then Cord McKenzie pulling in a touchdown on 4 catches and 34 yards. Take a quick look at defense. I don't believe there were any interceptions today. And there were not. As for sacks, we have 3. Travis Mann with a sack. Jake Cleveland with a sack. And Kyle Harris with a sack. I'll see you in Week 6. Here in Week 6, the Oregon State Beavers have moved up to number 13 in the nation, boasting a 5-0 record, and will have a bye this week. Before we get into the practice, let's take a look and see how the Huskies and Derrick did last week. We see that Washington also keeps up their undefeated record, pulling off a 34-21 win against Arizona. This week, they look to have their toughest competition of the year against Stanford. And now, if we take a look at Derrick, he's actually hurt now, but after the week, he pulled off another touchdown, about 100 or so more yards, and his completion percentage is still dropping, but he is now hurt, and that brings Tim Johnson, also a freshman quarterback, in his stead. Let's see if they can keep winning without Carver on the field. Much of the same so far in this practice session. Some small passes mixed in with some interceptions, some sacks, so not much progress on the coach's trust board, but hey, we're getting XP. Woohoo! First touchdown in practice on a screen. Last 2 reps. We've been playing really good. These last 10 actually. So let's see if we can finish it really strong. And we'll just gain some yards on the ground and step out of bounds. Last rep of practice. No sacks or interceptions, so we're doing great. Just dump it off. Oh, incomplete pass. Well, anyway, we're walking out of practice with 5,985 XP for a total of 16,180. Let's go check the skill upgrades and see what we can do. If we head on over to skill upgrades, we've got a couple that might seem interesting. We're not going to go with You Are On Fire because no matter how many points it gives us, it'll only be 1 game, and since we're not playing, we definitely don't need it. Face mask shot, don't really need trucking and strength. Now here's the 2 that are interesting me. There's Deep Ball for 4,000, which gives us 2 more on accuracy and 2 more on throw power, and 2 overall. Or there's Let It Go, which is 14,000, gives us 5 on our throw power, 5 on our strength, and 3 on our overall. Now, Let It Go is extremely tempting, but I still believe Deep Ball is going to be the most beneficial for us. So we're going to go with Deep Ball to boost up that accuracy to 75, that throw power to 91, that overall to 81. We'll take a look at our depth chart. We're still obviously sitting in 3rd, but we are slowly closing in on Jeremy Dukes. Granted, he's a senior and he'll be gone next year anyway, but we just might pass him up before the season's end. Here we are in week 7 now. Our Oregon State Beavers have moved up to number 8 in the nation at a 5-0 record. This week we'll be going against the Washington State Cougars with a 4-2 record. Before we get into the practice and the game, let's see how the Washington Huskies did. If we take a look at the coaches poll, we see that Washington has moved up to number 10 in the nation, beating Stanford 13-6 without Eric Carver, putting up to 5-0, and now they truly will be facing their biggest competition of the season, number 2, Oregon. But before we see how that ends up, let's get through practice in our game. Here at the beginning of the practice, as you'd expect, it's raining again. Let's keep pushing for that second string job. Don't want to jinx myself as I had before, but we are playing very well in this practice. Have yet to have a negative game. So that's boding well for us. Down to our last 3 reps. We are making great progress on the Coach's Trust leaderboard. Let's finish this practice off with some great reps to get us, hopefully, let's say up to 200 out of the 320. I'll take 2 good plays, maybe. And that was a truly poor decision by me. Let's finish this one off good, though. All we got is a scramble. Well, we walk out of here with 4,875 points for a total of 17,055. Let's head on over to skill upgrades and see what we can buy. Here we are on the skill upgrade screen, and without even taking a second thought, we're going to head on over to leadership and immediately buy that for +4 throw power, +5 agility, +3 to acceleration, and +3 overall. So that'll be all we purchase this week. Let's head right into the game. As usual, let's get right into the coin toss. We'll be calling it today. We're going to go with heads as usual. We will lose the coin toss, so that means our offense will be stepping on the field first. Looking at the overalls in the loading screen, it definitely looks like Washington State is the best team we've played this season. So they probably will give us the best competition we've had. But then again, we have come back down 23, so this looks like it's another overtime game. And this one, again, we pull it out in overtime. More zeros on the board for Derrick. Another W in the column for Oregon State. We beat Washington State 37-34. Let's take a look and see how our teammates did this week. Luke Baker, a great game out of him. 26 for 44, 359 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. We take a look at rushing. Brad Wiggins, solid game. 96 yards on 23 attempts and 1 touchdown. Take a look at receiving. We got Corey McKenzie having the big game for us today. 109 yards and 2 touchdown receptions. David Humphrey also put in some good work. 148 yards and 8 catches with 1 touchdown himself. And then Brad Wiggins, the do-it-all man, a receiving touchdown as well. We take a look over at defense. We got 2 interceptions today. 1 by Brandon Moore, 1 by Maurice Freeman. And, for the first time ever, no sacks this week. See you in Week 8. Here in Week 8 now, our Oregon State Beavers have moved all the way up to a top 5 position in the nation at 6-0. And this next week, we will be going against the Cal Bears, who are 2-4. Let's take a look and see how the Washington Huskies did without Eric Carver in a second week. If you take a quick look at the top 25 polls, we can see that Washington has taken their first loss of the season to the newly crowned number 1 team, the Oregon Ducks. They lose of a score of 14-24. Maybe they're missing Eric Carver. Maybe not. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.